John here, and today we're going to talk about and review my favorite buddy cop film, and that's Tango and Cash. And what more can you say about this film? To me, it's an entertaining movie, and we're going to get into a whole lot more here. But the plot, real quick, so you have Ray Tango and Gabriel Cash in the film. Stallone is Ray Tango, and Kurt Russell is Gabriel Cash. And they are narcotics detectives, that are both extremely successful, and they can't stand each other. Meanwhile, you have, our main villain in the film, played by Jack Palance, and he's a crime lord that is furious at the loss of income that is caused by Tango and Cash. So he frames the two for murder, and soon Tango and Cash are sent away to this prison where most of the criminals that they help convict are in this prison, so they have to help out each other, even though they can't stand each other, but they have to help each other out, clear their names and stop the main villain here. And that's the plot to Tango and Cash. The director here, Andrei Konchalovsky. Now, from what I understand, and I may have gotten his name wrong, first off, but from what I understand with this film, and for people out there, feel free to fill in the blanks as far as what was going on behind the scenes. But apparently, who directed the film went through different hands. I think like towards the end of production, this director here was replaced by Albert Magnoli. This Andrei guy, I think he wanted to bring a more serious tone, to the film. But they were going through different directors here. There was quite a bit of a troubled production behind Tango and Cash. But, from what I understand, Stallone, he kept, the set of the film. He kept everything calm and cool. Whoever directed the film, whether if it was Konchalovsky or some other person, I will give credit here. To me, even with that going on, they pulled off a good film here. To me, entertaining buddy cop movie. But, jumping ahead to the cast here, Stallone does a great job as Tango. It's a totally different, what you expect of Stallone, where, in this film here, this character is very prim and proper. He's wearing glasses. He's reading the Wall Street paper or whatever paper in the film. And again, he's very kind of, prim and proper, and, it's not what you would expect out of Stallone, where, in the past, Stallone has played blue-collar types or, underdog characters. Here, he's kind of a little bit of Gordon Gekko, but, that kind of like Wall Street look and, very well-spoken. Kurt Russell in the film is Gabriel Cash. Now, originally, they wanted Patrick Swayze for the role of Kurt Russell, for the role of Gabriel Cash here. Not Kurt Russell, but Gabriel Cash. That would have been a totally different movie. But, I don't know how Patrick Swayze would have done. Like, if it was him and Sly, I don't know what kind of chemistry they would have had in the film here. But I thought Kurt Russell, him and Sly had a great chemistry. And man, it's kind of unfortunate that, we never got a sequel. And that's one thing that, to me, I don't think this film did too well when it came out. But, damn it, I wish we could have gotten a sequel, because Stallone and Kurt Russell had a great chemistry. And their rapport, it was like, it was entertaining. It was a lot of fun to watch. And, they really bounced off each other well. And again, Kurt Russell does a great job. Terry Hatcher as Kiki, who is Tango's sister in the film. It's always great to see Terry Hatcher. She was one of my crushes back then when she was on Lois and Clark, and Terry Hatcher still looks good. But, yeah, Terry Hatcher does a good job here. Jack Palance as this crime lord. He's having fun here in the movie. Apparently, from what I read, that Jack Palance wasn't too satisfied with how the film turned out. That there was more scenes with Stallone that wasn't including it, like it wasn't in the film. Or, just wasn't again, satisfied with how the film turned out. But even with that, I thought Jack Palance, he was fun here. He was having fun. You could tell he was having fun. Brian James as Requiem, who was the main villain's right-hand man, kind of a subordinate type. But unfortunately, Brian James has passed away, and Jack Palance. But, Brian James, you've seen before. He was in The Fifth Element. He was in Blade Runner, I think. I think he was in Blade Runner. And like I said, unfortunately, he's passed away at a young age. But he's a lot of fun here in the movie, especially the scenes where he's being like on the rooftop, and Tango and Cash are messing with this guy, and good cop, bad cop, and all of that stuff, and hanging him off the roof, and for people that have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. But Brian James was fun. James Hong, although for James Hong, he's a very recognizable actor. He was a Lo Pan in Big Trouble in Little China. He's not really given much to do here. I kind of wish that maybe he had a little bit more screen time, or a little bit more, to do as a villain, because he's kind of like in the background, or you may see him here and there. But James Hong, he does fine. Michael J. Pollard, as the character of Owen. Michael J. Pollard, just a year before, he was in Scrooged. He was the bum in the sewer, or, the bum that would talk to Bill Murray. And the same year this came out, he was also in Next of Kin. And I did meet Michael J. Pollard at the first convention that I went to back in 2014. And, he didn't really say too much, but, I gathered, he was a nice gentleman. And, I saw pictures on his table of him working on Scrooged, and, this film here, and I Come in Peace. He was in that film too. And unfortunately, he's passed away. Robert Zadar's in here as the character of Face. Robert Zadar's also passed away. Again, unfortunate that a lot of these actors are gone. But, Robert Zadar's known for that, that look and the chin. I just love, the scenes where he's trying to get at Tango and under his skin, but yeah, he was a fun kind of like little side villain in the film. But, the cast is great here. And, the score here by Harold Faltermeyer is a lot of fun. Harold Faltermeyer had worked on, Beverly Hills Cop and Top Gun, providing the scores for those. And he brings an entertaining score here. People that have seen Tango and Cash, remember the score. And it really works with the film. And, like I said in my review of Over the Top, it's unfortunate now that we just don't have we have composers still, but, we don't have great scores that really stand out, or even fun scores. Like with this film here, the score was really fun and enjoyable. And, things that I really enjoyed here about the film, I've talked about the chemistry between our lead characters, where, they are complete opposites. And the humor between Tango and Cash is a lot of fun. And, again, they just bounce off each other very well. And, the delivery of dialogue and, witty lines. And I really enjoyed the buddy cop aspect of, these two characters that can't stand each other, but they end up helping each other. And it has a very entertaining vibe and direction, and a nice, cast here. I talked about the supporting cast of Terry Hatcher, Jack Palance, and, there's some other, nice appearances here. Clint Howard appears in the film with the guy with the slinky when they go to, prison, and, Tango was in one cell with Clint Howard. And even the action scenes, the action sequences in the film, for example, when they break out of prison, you get some good fight scenes. It's all well shot. And, there's a little bit kind of leading up to the third act of the film where, in the third act, they well, the character of Owen, played by Michael J. Pollard, he gives Tango and Cash, this armored vehicle or car, and they go to the quarry where, they go after Jack Palance, and there's a lot of great action, shootouts and, explosions. So the final act of the film is a lot of fun. The film moves at an energetic pace. Like once it starts, it keeps going and it doesn't stop. It's like a really fun ride of, the energy between these two characters and the energy they're giving off, and, their chemistry that is a lot of fun to watch. Now, like I said, it's very unfortunate that we never got a sequel. And I think this film came out in December of '89. Kind of a weird time to release the film. I think it came out in December of that year. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But again, it's unfortunate that we never got a sequel. I think they should have made a sequel, considering how these two leads, worked well off each other. Maybe you could have done a sequel around, let's say 91 or 92, and it would have been a lot of fun. I don't know what other... I was trying to think, who could play a villain for a sequel, but, you could have thrown in anybody there. I don't know, I just had this crazy thought of what if you had Seagal as the villain, but, knowing Seagal, he would probably try to, his ego wouldn't let it happen. But if, imagine that, or, maybe if you had... I don't know, now I'm trying to think who would play a great villain for a sequel. Maybe a Vernon Wells, or maybe a Powers Booth, or, somebody like that. But, yeah, I think there should have been a sequel, and I think it would have been a lot of fun. But, yeah, Tango and Cash here is a lot of fun. And for anybody that hasn't seen the film, I do recommend it. But, with that being said, let me get to my final thoughts on Tango and Cash. Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell are having a blast. Entertaining rapport from our leads with great action sequences and delivery of humor. Great score by Harold Faltermeyer, and Jack Palance is having fun as our villain. Tango and Cash brings the excitement from start to finish, and to me, my favorite buddy cop film. And out of 10, I'm going to give Tango and Cash a 9 out of 10. But thank you for watching, and have a good day.